Order up. Order up. I better not follow this trail until I know for sure where it goes. Ah, warm again.
What's up?
So you go to school in California?
Yep. University of California at Brea.
What kind of degree are you working on?
Master of Fine Arts.
What are you going to do with a Master of Fine Arts degree?
What is this, like the Spanish Inquisition?
Hey, give her a break. She's just trying to make pleasant conversation.
Oh, right. What am I gonna do with an MFA degree? I don't know. See, I create works of art by manipulating naturally occurring geophysical substances like dirt. Sometimes I just use my hands, but most of the time heavy machinery is involved.
Oh, brother.
Nobody understands my art, but that's cool. To be great is to be misunderstood. FYI, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that.
Is this your first time at the lodge?
Yep. My car broke down on my way to Lake Louise last summer. Pulled in here to wait for the tow truck and figured it'd be a cool place to visit during the winter, so here I am.
What do you think about all the weird things that have been happening around here?
I think they're kind of cool. Accidents make life colorful, you know?
You wouldn't be saying that if you were the one who'd slipped on those ice-covered stairs or eaten that bad potato salad or had those 4 flat tires.
Hey, I had that broken window.
Broken window?
I went snowshoeing on like the 3rd day I was here, and when I got back, the window in my room was broken. Glass was all over the place.
Was anything missing from your room?
Nah, it wasn't a burglary. It was like the window just decided to break. I mean, there was no rock on the floor, no bullet, no nothing.
It was the wolf. Tried to jump up into your room, but didn't quite make it.
That's bogus, dude. My room's on the 2nd floor, and besides, wolves don't do stuff like that.
Hey, that wolf does a lot of stuff wolves aren't supposed to do. That's why it needs to be hunted down.
It's just doing its thing, man. Get off its case. Anyway, my window broke and nobody knows why. Pretty awesome, huh?
So, you like to snowshoe?
I like doing stuff outside. Snowshoeing's about all I can afford.
Is it a hard sport to learn?
You don't learn how to snowshoe. If you need to get through snow that's too deep to walk through, you slap on some snowshoes and you just do it.
Do you ever see anyone else when you're out there snowshoeing?
I see that Yanni guy sometimes. I'll be plodding along and he'll go zooming by. Those skis of his are like rockets, man. He's all like zippy zoom.
Do you ever hear explosions?
Yeah, and they freak me out. It doesn't take a very big sound to trigger an avalanche. And when you're out there by yourself, nothing will ruin your day faster than a couple of tons of snow roaring your way at 100 miles an hour.
Tell me about it. I'll catch you later.
Ditto, dude.
Hey, excellent job on the snow shoveling, eh? We had ourselves one fine time out there because of you, especially Lou here.
I beat him 5 times.
By the slimmest of margins. Which is why now he's too chicken to go mano a mano with me out there in the ice fishing shack.
Snowshoeing's my thing, dude. Besides, it's animal cruelty.
Give me a break. You ever been ice fishing?
No, but I've always wanted to try it.
Excellent. Here's the deal. I need some competition, so I want you to go out there and try to catch a bigger fish than I caught yesterday, which means you gotta catch a 2-foot northern pike. Now, it's a bit of a hike out to the lake, but the shack is solar heated, so it's nice and warm inside. So what do you say, kiddo? You game?
Anything to make you guests happy.
Atta girl.
Are you by any chance related to Rolf Kessler, the guy who used to build carousels around the turn of the last century?
No idea.
Well, I better get back to work.
See you later.
How dare you trespass here? You shall pay for your insolence. The Snow Princess surrenders, for now.
It is really, really cold out here. Oh my gosh. It looks like someone came in here and just wrecked everything, including the fishing gear. So much for catching a 2-foot northern pike. Left behind by whoever trashed this place, maybe? 202-555-7237. That's a U.S. phone number. I'm starting to get really cold. Much better. I was really cold. Somebody left me a note.
What you need?
Someone went into the ice fishing shack and ruined all of Bill Kessler's equipment.
Probably some animal-loving eco-fanatic who figured it was time to save the fish.
So much for trying to catch a bigger fish than Mr. Kessler.
Say no more. There's my tackle box. It's all yours. Kessler tried to rope me into competing with him, but I can't very well do that when you've got my hook and line now, can I?
No, I don't suppose you can.
What else do you want?
That's all the questions I had.
If you need anything, just holler.
Order up. Order up. Order up. Order up.
You have reached Run and Grow Free, a non-profit organization dedicated to making sure that the wild animals of North America remain wild. No one can take your call at the moment because all of our volunteer staff is busy blocking access to California's wilderness areas in order to protect their cougar, bear, and condor populations. But if you leave your name and number after the beep, someone will eventually get back to you. Especially if you want to make a donation.
Well, who are you?
I'm Elsa's replacement.
Oh, the new maid, thank goodness. I was wondering how much longer the owner expected us to endure these conditions and still pay full price.
I thought I should introduce myself. My name's Nancy Drew.
My name is Guadalupe Comillo. My friends call me Lupe. Two things, dear. First, the alarm clock is missing from my room. I don't necessarily need another one. I just don't want to be charged for that one, seeing as I have no idea where it went to. Second, be a doll and clean my room first. It'll hardly take you any time at all, especially compared to the other rooms. The other guests are all men. Single men.
Well, I'm happy to report that I've already cleaned your room.
Excellent.
I hate to sound nosy, but what are you doing?
Birds. I'm watching birds. That's what I am, you see, a bird watcher. Sometimes I go outside and watch, and sometimes I stay inside. It all depends on what the birds feel like doing and what I feel like doing.
What kind of birds do you see here?
In the short time I've been here, I've seen hawks, eagles, orioles, cardinals, jays, nothing truly rare. But to a wildlife lover such as myself, seeing them in such a spectacular setting is thrilling nonetheless.
Have you met the other guests?
I've bumped into them at one time or another, yes. I don't spend all my time in front of this window. That Yanni fellow, he's very talented but extremely intense. His whole life revolves around being the best in the world. As for the two who are always sitting across the way playing that silly game, the older man, Bill Kessler, he's no deep thinker, but he's nice enough. But the other one, that college student, talking to him is like trying to converse with a giant turnip. No social graces whatsoever. I almost prefer talking to the handyman. Almost. Anyone that intent on destroying something as glorious as that wolf is hardly worth talking to.
Have you ever seen the wolf that's been hanging out around here?
No. Not that I'm looking for it, of course. Yanni occasionally skis by, and that dullard of a student, I see him snowshoeing occasionally. But I've yet to see the wolf. Have you seen it?
Me? I'm just the maid, remember? But I did find a bunch of tracks beyond the pond. You could try following them and maybe see the wolf that way.
Maybe I will. Have you told anyone else what you just told me?
No.
Good. Don't. You see, I'd like to see this wolf for myself, and I don't want everyone else going after it and scaring it away. And there's no telling what that trigger-happy handyman might do. So it'll just be our little secret, all right?
Do you want a book about birds of the Southwest?
I might. Why do you ask?
Because I found a piece of a book cover in the fishing shack, and since it was about birds, I wondered if it was yours.
No. It's not from any book I have. I've never been in the ice fishing shack, so how could it be?
Well, I'd better stop bugging you and get to work.
Au revoir.
Is this yours?
What, that bullet? Don't be silly. Why would I be carrying ammunition around?
It kind of looked like it dropped out of your pocket.
Well, since it was never in my pocket, that's impossible now, isn't it? It was probably lying there on the floor all along, and you just happened to kick it into view, that's all. This did used to be a hunting lodge, dear. I wouldn't worry about it.
You used that bullet I found on the floor to alter the sights on Ollie Randall's rifle, didn't you?
What? That's so ridiculous. It's laughable.
You did it because you're a member of Run and Grow Free, and you're trying to protect the wolf at any cost, aren't you?
Look at me. Do I really look like some kind of wildlife fanatic?
I never judge books by their covers, Miss Camillo. Look, I don't want to see anything happen to that wolf either. If you belong to Run and Grow Free, just tell me. I'm good at keeping secrets, believe me.
You're right. I am a member of Run and Grow Free. I did make sure that brute would miss if he took a shot at the wolf, and I will do whatever it takes to protect that beautiful creature.
Does doing whatever it takes include shutting down Icicle Creek Lodge?
No.
What else have you done to protect the wolf?
That's all I'm going to tell you, Nancy. And if you really are concerned about the wolf's welfare, you won't repeat any of this to anyone.
Huh? Oh, hi.
People who sleep during the day usually have a hard time sleeping at night, you know.
I can sleep anytime, anywhere. That's what happens when you got a clear conscience.
I've kept you awake long enough.
Hasta siesta.
Stop! How dare you trespass here? You shall pay for your insolence. You win! Heads up! Whatever you're really cold, just squeeze the toasty pack and you'll get a burst of heat. It only works when you're already cold, and you can only use one toasty pack at a time.
It is really, really cold out here. There we go, a 2-foot northern pike. No more fishing for me. Oh my gosh, whoever threw that ice ball at me must have set off an explosion that shattered the ice. And my jacket's gone. No wonder I'm so cold. A coat. I need to make it to shore by jumping from ice floe to ice floe and put on that coat before I freeze to death. I don't know whose this is or why that wolf left it here, but at least now I won't freeze to death. Ah, much better. I was really cold. There's a note in one of the pockets. Since I can't go back the way I came, maybe these tracks will lead me to shelter. Avalanche Ridge. Ugh, not exactly reassuring. The snow's so deep, I'm sinking up to my knees. Ski tracks, probably Yanni's. I bet if I follow them, I'll wind up back at the lodge. If I don't get warm soon, I may not make it. Ah, much better. I was really cold.
Let's not talk anymore, Nancy. People are starting to get suspicious.
Nancy, hi! What the heck happened out there?
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? I walked out to Icicle Lake to see how you were doing in the fishing shack, only there wasn't any fishing shack. There wasn't even a lake. The ice was all busted up like somebody dropped a bomb on it.
All I know is, after I caught that 2-foot northern pike, I walked outside and someone knocked me unconscious with an ice ball. The next thing I knew, there was an explosion and I was on an ice floe in the middle of the lake with no coat and no fish.
Somebody decked you with an ice ball and blew up the lake? Holy moly!
Probably you. Couldn't stand the thought of losing to a girl.
Har har. The good news is you're okay. The bad news? No more ice fishing.
I'd better get going.
Glad you dropped by.
What's up?
Nice talking to you.
Been real.
What you need?
Can you think of any reason why somebody would be carrying around a bullet?
Sure, they want to shoot something.
But it's not hunting season, is it?
Only for wolves and other such varmints. It's always hunting season for them.
I found a bullet on the floor by the window where Guadalupe Comillo is always watching for birds.
Well, now that's real interesting.
What do you mean?
I don't trust that lady. Let's just leave it at that.
I'll get out of your hair now.
Good.
Ah, I'm glad for the chance to talk once again. There is something I must explain.
By all means, explain away.
What I said before about wolves, it is because my grandmother was killed by wolves. Killed and devoured.
How?
Years ago, when my mother was a little girl, her mother, my grandmother, was on her way back from the village on her motor scooter, which was and still is the only means of transportation most Fredonians can afford. It was January, and the sun had just set, and it was dark, very cold. There were thousands of wolves in the countryside that winter. At night they would roam in huge, hungry packs. My grandmother was halfway home when she came upon a young man waving from the side of the road for her to stop. He too had been on a scooter, but his had broken down, and wolves were gathering all around him, preparing to attack. My grandmother, of course, stopped, and he leapt on behind her, and they took off down the road with the wolves, dozens of them, chasing after them. But with 2 people riding it, her scooter was slow, much too slow, and the wolves soon caught up with them. And when one of the wolves seized my grandmother's boot in its teeth and started to pull, instead of helping her, the man pushed her off the bike. It instantly gained speed and he got away. My grandmother, set upon by the wolves, did not.
That's terrible.
Tormented by guilt, the young man eventually confessed. He went to prison for several years, and the wolves were hunted year-round until the countryside was rid of them. But the damage was done. And so, I'm happy to talk to you about any subject except wolves. About them, I have nothing to say.
Ever see Lou Talbot when you're out there training?
The college student? Just yesterday I had to slow down to avoid colliding with him. It ruined my whole session.
I've disturbed you long enough.
Come back anytime.